right now. Hallelujah. Okay, let's start reading from verse number 1. It's gonna be quite a little read before we finish. The Bible says, "But it so happened when Sanballat heard that we were rebuilding the wall, that he was furious and very indignant, and mocked the Jews. And he spoke before his brethren and in the army of Samaria and said, What are these feeble Jews doing? Will they fortify themselves? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they complete it in a day? Will they revive the stones from the heaps of rubbish, the stones that are bent?" Now Tobiah the Ammonite was beside him, and he said, "Whatever they build, even if a fox goes up on it, it will break down their wall." As we continue to read, I want you to listen to their statements. I want you to listen to the language of Sanballat and Tobiah. The Bible says they heard that the Jews are building the wall. And the first thing Sanballat asks is, what are these feeble Jews doing? He calls them feeble, and the Bible says he mocks them. He's mocking them, and then he calls them feeble. And he asked, shall they even be able to even finish what they are doing even in a day? Will they truly build, and will they even be able to offer the sacrifices? Listen to their language. The Bible says they are mocking them. And there's a man called Tobiah beside him. And Tobiah, who supports Sanballat, says, even if an ox, like a little ox, can, do not let their sin be blotted out before you, for they have provoked you to anger before the builders. So we built the wall, and the entire wall was joined together up to half of it, and the entire wall was joined together up to half of its height, for the people had a mind to work. Now it happened when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabs and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were being restored and the gaps were beginning to be closed, that they became very angry, and all of them conspired to come and attack Jerusalem and create confusion. Nevertheless, we made our prayer to our God. Because of them, we set a watch against them day and night. Then Judah said, the strength of the laborers is failing, and there is so much rubbish that we are not able to build the wall. And our adversaries, they will neither know nor see anything till we come into their midst and kill them and cause the work to cease. That's what the adversaries are saying. So it was then the Jews who had dwelt near them that they told us 10 times, from whatever place you turn, they will be upon us. Therefore I positioned men behind the lower parts of the wall. At the openings I set the people according to their families, with their swords, their spears, their bows. And I looked and arose and said to the nobles, to the leaders, and to the rest of the people, do not be afraid. Remember the Lord, great and awesome, and fight for your brethren, your sons, your daughters, your wives, and your house. When our enemies heard that it was known to us that God had brought their plot to nothing, that all of us returned to the wall, and everyone to his work. So it was from that time that half of the servants worked at the construction, while the other half held spears, shields, and bows, and wore armor, and the leaders were behind all the house of Judah. Those who built the wall and those who carried the burdens loaded themselves so that we were behind. Those who built burdens, they were held a weapon. Every one of the builders had his sword guarded at his side as he was building. And the one who sounded the trumpet was beside me. And then I said to the nobles, the great rulers, and the rest of the people, the work is great and extensive. We are separated far from one another on the wall. Wherever you hear the sound of the trumpet, rally to us. Our God will fight for us. Our God will fight for us. So family, once again, the Bible gives us a very powerful account of Nehemiah, who is obviously in exile. Then he happens to be very, very close to the king. And then he is a very man that the king loves so much. Everyone in the kingdom of Babylon is so much fond of him, and the king likes him and likes his service and how he does things. And it happened that as he began to realize that the walls of Jerusalem have actually been destroyed, then the Bible says he immediately was sad. He was sad to a level where the king could realize and say, Nehemiah, why are you so sad? Why is that your countenance has changed? And the Bible gives us, and destroy the walls of Jerusalem. Destroy the walls of Jerusalem, because Jerusalem, it is known to become the house of the Lord. It is known as a house of God, and not just the house of God, but the city of David. So what the enemy did every time he came, he destroyed the city of David and destroyed a point of prayer for the children of Israel. Because the children of Israel always prayed looking at the wall of Jerusalem. They always prayed looking besides the wall, towards the wall. So they always wanted to destroy the wall. That is why even today, if you go to Jerusalem, you find that there's still a fight about the ownership of the city and the ownership of the temple between the Palestinians, who happen to be Muslim, and the Israelites, who are Jews, who happen to be in Judaism. Now what is happening is, their war between them is simple. Each one is saying, this is my land. And obviously Palestinians know it's not their land, but it's just obviously a fraud that is happening. But you can see the way that they divided Jerusalem is that the Muslims are praying and they give their back to the wall and they look towards the sun. They look towards the sun happening. But now Nehemiah is happening. But now Nehemiah is given the allowance to go, and even the king not only gives him the allowance to go and rebuild the city, but he's also given resources to do it. So the king begins to write a letter into all of his kingdoms and all the people who are within his kingdoms, and he instructs them that everyone must indeed give Nehemiah the ability, whatever that they have, to build, whether they've got material, whatever, they must give it to Nehemiah so that Nehemiah may go and rebuild the city of David, which are the walls of Jerusalem. But the fascinating thing is that in the kingdom of Babylon, there are two people, because he's favored by the king, and yet he's the foreigner in Babylon. And because of that, these two people wants to make sure that whatever that Nehemiah does not materialize. And it happened to be Sanballat and Tobiah. Now the Bible says, upon them hearing that Nehemiah was embarking on the journey of rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, the Bible said they started laughing. They started laughing. They said, what are these Jews doing? The Bible says they started mocking them. Immediately they heard what they are going to do, they mocked them. The Bible says, Sanballat said, what are these feeble Jews doing? So he called them feeble, he called them weak. What are these weak Jews doing? Do they think they can build? Do they think they can rebuild, they can finish even in a day? Do they think that they will offer sacrifices? So he hated whatever they're going to do, because he knew that they were building the walls because they're going to worship God. So he laughed. He said, they will not be able to do it. And Tobiah helped him. Tobiah said, even if a little ox just falls on the top of that wall they are going to build, it will just fall down. So mockery began. They started mocking them for what they were going to build. Now, family, I want you to begin to see something. When Nehemiah prays to God, he says, but God, can you see we are being despised? Can you see our enemies have mocked us and laughed at us? The armies of the Samarians, and all the enemies of Israel, he started telling them that they are going back home to build. They are going back home to build, and they are saying they are going to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. And they all started laughing together. They all started laughing together. So I want you to see something. That mockery is a spiritual tool. Once you see the enemy mocking you, just know you have entered into a different level of warfare. You are at the entrance of a spiritual war. It starts by mocking. They start laughing. They are building. They start laughing. Can they finish? They start undermining you. They start mocking you. They say even an ox cannot sustain, it will just fall. That even if an ox climb on the wall, it will just fall now. So immediately when mockery enters the room, just know that immediately you've entered the first stage of building. And you can't build a vision from God if there be no mockery present. Because how you will see that what you are about to build is a serious thing is by hearing the enemy starting to mock you. When they start questioning your abilities, start questioning who you are, who do they think that they are? From what power can they be able to do it? Can they even finish in a day? Can they even go? How far can they go? Then you know for sure that now you are entering into something. So, Tobiah and Sanballat undermined Nehemiah. It's you too serious. Then know that that enemy is above you. Because the enemy that undermines you is important in destiny. It is better to be undermined than to be overly estimated. Because if your enemy overly estimates you, it will defeat you because it will have more time to prepare against you. But when the enemy undermines you, he does not spend time in planning against you and preparing against you because he sees you as a nobody. So in warfare and in building is to convince the enemy that you are not a threat to them. That is why if you are a builder, you don't show all your cards publicly. If you are a builder, you don't expose your strength. If you are going to build something great, you do not put everything on display. You don't give but not all information. But not all information. So instead of the enemy coming and researching by themselves, you allow them to know what you are going to do. You allow them to know. Because once the enemy knows by whoever tells them what you are going to do, then they don't feel the need to research you because they feel like your life is an open book to them. So they have no need of researching you anymore because they feel like they've already heard that you are going to Jerusalem to build. So they start informing others and laughing about it. So they got no time to plan against you. They got no time to do it because they say, who are they at the end of the day? The fact that even the information about the building, we just had it carelessly, that shows that actually they can't even build. So the aim is to make sure that the enemy undermines you. So if you're careful of an enemy who overestimates you, be careful. And never allow your enemy to fully comprehend the amount of strength you have. Don't. Anybody, if you want to talk about your dream, just talk about your dream. Don't be careful about nobody. If anybody wants to listen about your dream, just speak. That tonight, yesterday, I dreamt the moon and the star, they were bowing before me. I dreamt. Because even though it may sound nice, that be careful of the person. Look at the brother of the person you tell your dream. Look at the brothers of Joseph. They betrayed him. Who are supposed to do it at the end of the day? Who was supposed to do it? Because if they didn't betray him, he was never going to achieve what he was born to do. It was their betrayal that was needed to be part of what needs to happen. Their betrayal was important. But they were never going to betray him if he did not show them the dream. If he did not tell them the dream, they were never going to betray them. So you need people that can betray you. You need them. You need them. You can't run away from betrayal if you're trying to go somewhere. So when you speak about your vision and your dream, you attract people who are ready to betray you. And that is very important. That's very important. Speak like that. You know, there are people where you tell your dream and you can see that, hey, they don't like it. You can see in their face that, hey, they don't like it. They don't like it. They only like it when you talk about your problems. Have you heard it? The only time they are interested to hear is when you tell them that, oh, I'm going through this and that. Then they are your best friend. They are your best friend because you're telling them your problems, your problem. But the day you tell them that this business, I'm planning to pursue this vision, I'm planning to do this, you hear them by saying, Now you know that they are. Now they are not ready to listen to you now. Because now we are talking a different level. They just want you to cry. They want you to talk about pain and problems. They don't want you to talk about destiny. You need to change the language. From now on, when you go back to them, you start telling them about the next thing that you're trying to do. Tell them that now I'm no longer crying. Now I want to build this. Now I want to do that. Now I want to do that. Tell them. They are very important in your life. They are very important. Those are very important people. So I say to you, speak about your vision. Speak about your dream. Now, one of the things that you realize when you start speaking about your dream is that your enemies do not have to do the hard work anymore because they got it from you. They got the information from you that you want to build the walls of Jerusalem. So they don't have to do the hard work to see what is Nehemiah up to. Because now Nehemiah has come by himself and spoken to them that he wants to build the walls. So they didn't have to do their own homework. So when you tell your enemies about your plans, you are making them to be at ease. You are giving them the information from their hands, from your hand to their hands, and they feel like, wow, he just leaked what he wants to do. And the Bible says, when they heard what he wants to do, they started laughing. They started laughing. They started laughing. Do you know that telling your enemies about your dream makes them to undermine you? When you tell them what you want to do, that's when they don't take you serious. But when you hide once you